Welcome back to Trash Panda Off-Road. Today we're doing a starter on the old Trash Panda. We're just a couple of days away, hopefully taking this thing over to Downing Fabrication, get the Toyota axles put under it, but unfortunately it currently will not start. Maybe it'll do it on camera. Nope. So I knew I was having starter issues. I knew I was going to need to do it. I was just hoping I'd be able to do it in the back. Now I got to do it out here on the gravel. Since we got to be up front, we'll go ahead and throw a bunch of tools into the toolbox. 12mm stuff, 13mm. Hopefully that's it. Started getting into the Ryobi line, as well as my DeWalt stuff, just because Ryobi is a lot less expensive and a lot more options. So, and you can pick them up at yard sales all the time, which is how I kind of got into that. Anyways, also, we're going to take out our speaker so we have some tunage, and I think that's all the stuff we're going to need. Changing a starter is one of those things that's really easy, but it's really hard. It's only like 4 bolts or something like that to get this thing out of there, but everything's in the way. So on all of my Geo Trackers, I don't run the support bar. There's supposed to be, see my fingers right here, there's a support bar that runs right here. You can see this bolt, maybe. All right. Ah, crap. We got a lot of stuff in the way. Anyway, there's a bolt down there that holds a bar that goes from the intake to the side of the engine. I don't run anything. I never run those. So you can still get to the starter down there. You see there's one bolt on the back. That's probably going to be a 13mm. And then there's a line that goes down that just slides on and comes right off. That goes onto a little spade tab right there. And there you go. That's actually the ignition. You'll need that hooked up, otherwise it won't turn the key. But before we get too far on this, we got to unhook the battery. And I have all my batteries on my terminals onto this. So that'll only take me a quick second. Then I'll take the 13mm and I'll take off that one right there. So I went ahead and ripped it out real quick because I noticed a couple of issues. It might not be a starter, but I'm getting it replaced anyway because I buy most of my stuff through O'Reilly's and they guarantee it for life. So this one's going back. But if you notice all this scarring right there, when I went to undo it, the top bolt, so most of the time the top bolt is through with a nut on it, and then on the back side, that nut is usually where your negative cable connects. And then the bottom side is just a straight bolt. So there was no issue with the bottom side, but the top side was already all loose and halfway sticking out. Well, not halfway, but a little bit sticking out. So that caused this. And then I looked at it, and I must have trail fixed this at some point, because here's the negative cable that's supposed to go to the back of the starter right here. It's up here on this ground here. So I'm going to have to go, and I can't do it till tomorrow because, like I said, they don't have, O'Reilly's doesn't have that in stock. But we're going to take this bolt and get one that's probably about 3 inches longer with a nut on it, and we're going to hook this thing up correctly when we go to reinstall it tomorrow. It's been a couple of days, but we're getting back to it, and I wasn't sure if I explained it or not, so I want to show you guys what I was talking about in terms of the way that starter was hooked up. So here's the transmission. This is a junk automatic that I took out of the Trash Panda. But anyways, this is where your starter goes in, right? So this one here is almost always a good threaded hole. You put your small bolt through there. But the top hole, where you bolt in your transmission or your starter to the transmission, is almost always stripped out. This one, the one that we just took out, it was starting to strip out enough so as that it had wallowed out and there was striation marks and cut marks on the face of the starter. So I went ahead and warrantied it out at O'Reilly's and got a brand new one. And what we're going to do to put it in is, obviously this one here will be threaded, but it'll be in the truck, so it'll be a lot more difficult for you guys to see. So this one here will thread on just fine. And then what you do with this longer one, 90% of the time I come across these, this is what's done, is you take a thinner bolt, longer bolt, you run it through there. This one's pretty much too long. And then you put your negative cable right here so that you have that as your ground. And then you take your nut and you bolt it all together. But I think I need to shave like an inch, maybe 2 inches off of this bolt, because that's a way long bolt. So that is how most of these are hooked up, is regular one here, nut and bolt here, which really sucks because then you have to reach down through the motor area, through the back here, the back of the motor, and put something, a nut, put a wrench on this nut. And it's already a pain in the butt to reach this thing. So that's what makes these difficult, and that's why people don't like changing starters. I wish I could tell you there was a better way to do this, you know, besides what we did at the beginning, reaching in and unwrastling. I probably wrestled with it for about an hour. If you know a better way, put it in the comments below. But here's the worst part. After wrestling with that thing for about an hour, getting it all back together, it makes the same exact noise as the one I took out. We're calling that a failure. Put a new starter in, still doesn't want to start. Now I got to trace down something else. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you got something out of this. If not, well, try again, because there's almost 200 videos on the channel. Consider subscribing and follow along. Trash Panda Off-Road on the Instagram. I post new stuff there pretty much every day.